What's up, my friends? My name is Josh. I am your push coach, and I've got a really fun, kind of controversial podcast for you today. Today, we're going to talk about politics, everyone's favorite thing in the world right now. Except I actually want to take a totally different take than what I see really anyone else taking right now. And I'm going to be really bold here for a second and say that talking politics on social media is literally ruining online business. It's a really bold statement. So just bear with me and then just hear me out. And if after this you totally disagree, that's totally fine. Listen, every single one of you have your own business and you get to do whatever the hell you want. Like you really do, regardless of what any expert in the world says. The beauty of having your own business is you really do get to choose whatever makes the most sense for you. And alignment is a really important thing. So please hear me out on this. These are my thoughts that are for you to learn whatever you want to learn from, or completely and totally reject if you want to, because at the end of the day, I'm just Josh. I'm not God. I'm not the truth. I'm just me. But here's what I see. So I want to give give a little psychology first of all, because I do think that this is really important to understand. So this is something that I have taught for a really long time. It's a quote that's in both of my books, and it says this: our limiting beliefs are constantly looking for a story to justify our own fears and excuses. So this is how the subconscious mind goes to work. First of all, it's trying to keep us safe, okay? That's why I call it our caveman DNA. The way our brain works was literally for thousands of years ago, when there wasn't Google, there wasn't Wikipedia, there wasn't any way to know whether or not something was safe or not without having this essentially built-in smoke detector in your brain to warn you when there was a possible threat. So our brain, first of all, is trying to keep us safe. That's the first thing. But the second thing it's doing is it's automating behaviors for us so that we don't have to use up as much time and energy to be productive and get things done. Okay. So with that being said, this is something that's really important to understand. Several years ago, when my business, kind of first took off and we had our first multi-six-figure year, I went out and bought a brand new car. And I bought a Toyota 4Runner, and I got the like the platinum edition or whatever it's called. I don't think that's the right word. It's been a while since I've haven't had my 4Runner in a while, and I can't remember what it was called. But let's just pretend, for the sake of this story, it was called the platinum edition. Okay, it was black. The platinum edition came with like the leather seats. It came with like the upgraded rims. Had like some chrome on like the door handles and the side mirrors and stuff like that. So it was like the premium one, platinum, whatever it's called. And so I was like, well, that one's really cool. I like the fact that it has these upgraded things. I think that'll make it feel like I have more of a one-of-a-kind car, because 4Runners are, kind of popular. So I buy this and I'm like, I'm going to be the only one in town with this like midnight black, with the sparkles and with like the platinum package. And what I found out that day as I drove off the lot was that every other car in the entire city of Tulsa was a midnight black 4Runner with the platinum package, with the exact same rims. Like identical to my car. And I was like, what the hell just happened? I swear 2 days ago, there was not this many 4Runners on the road. And then out of nowhere, there is. Now, how did that happen? Well, my subconscious mind became aware of something, and it focused on something, and now it's automating finding that information for me. Okay. So for everyone listening, every single time, regardless of what you believe, every time someone has a different political opinion than you, I hope that this just helps you to understand why they are the way they are and why you are the way you are. In the United States, we have a Republican Party and a Democratic Party, and they are very they're very, let's just say that it feels like they're at war with each other right now. Okay. Like they're very, like if you're Republican, you can't like anything the Democrats do. And if you're a Democrat, you can't like anything the Republicans do, which that alone is absolutely insane. there's there's no way that only your party is doing everything right and that the other party is doing everything wrong. There's just no way that that's actually possible. Even if you think that that's what's happening, I want to help you understand why your brain thinks that's happening. Because similar to me getting my black forerunner, what you did was you essentially went out and voted for someone that you thought was the best fit for our nation, for your family, whatever that is. Now, once you make that decision, your subconscious mind goes to work to find all of the evidence of why that's true. And we tend to ignore all of the evidence that would go against it. Okay. I was not noticing all of the white forerunners. I wasn't noticing all of the Chevy Tahoes. I wasn't noticing anything on the street except for the black forerunners. So every single one of us are constantly looking for the data and the stories and the proof of what we already believe. Okay. It's very important to understand because every time you see a post by someone that believes the opposite of you, you'll be very, very tempted to think, what an absolute moron. How could they look at everything I looked at? How could they read everything I read? How could they watch everything I watched and come to that conclusion? They must be an absolute moron. And I'm just going to tell you right now, like, I'm going to get a little emotional as I say this. I just think overall we need to be better humans and just be a little bit like more willing to just understand, and not even just understand, but appreciate the fact that people are going to think differently than you and people are going to believe differently than you. And that doesn't make anybody a moron. And the second we start saying things like this, to me, this is why politics on social media is so dangerous if you're a business owner, not because it's dangerous to have your opinion, not because it's dangerous even to make a stand for what you believe is right, but because 99% of us can't handle having that conversation without somehow belittling or demoralizing someone else. And here's what I'm seeing happening. If I'm just being like super real, I see a lot of influencers that I think mean well, but the second they bring up politics, their engagement blows up. And then we have all of these teachings that are like, you got to be controversial. That's how branding works. You got to be well, there's a really big difference between being controversial and dehumanizing other people. Really, really, really big difference. And what literally hurts my soul right now is how I know that there is an entire world full of online influencers who really do care about people, who really do love people, who really do want to make a difference, that have kind of forgotten that core value of helping people. And it's almost like we're allowing some of these other values to overshadow our most core value, which is helping people. And sure, you're allowed to have as many values as you want. Absolutely. But if you really do care about people and you love people and you want to help people, I just don't understand how you can make a post that demoralizes people who don't agree with you. Now, it's okay to have your opinion, absolutely. And I even think it's okay if you want to, and that's up to you. I choose not to do this. I think it's okay to state your opinion. However, I'm going to go back to something I just said a second ago. 99% of people, including influencers, are not capable of having an actual, honest, logical, zero emotions attached conversation about politics. It is such a charged thing right now that even if it's helping your engagement, even if it's getting a bunch of people who agree with you and like you to jump on board with your posts, I have never in my entire life seen someone make more money while stirring up drama. Never. It's never happened. I've seen people do it. I've seen people try to do it. I've seen people take like a life situation, such as like a divorce or some trauma, and kind of use that to like build up engagement around this thing that everyone kind of like jumps into because they just want to talk about it. But I've never seen someone like using drama and turning that into to dollars. I've just never seen that. And this isn't me saying that you can't post about some type of a traumatic situation, but there's a really big difference between posting about something that's happened versus alienating certain people with what you're saying. Okay. And I'll give you an example. I have one client who's a really good friend who has gone through some stuff with having to be a caretaker and then having her dad pass away. And that has been a huge part of her brand. But notice the difference. That's not her saying, if anyone disagrees with my father passing away, you're a moron and you're an asshole. She's not stirring up drama. She's sharing a story that she has been through that she knows will impact and inspire and empower others going through a similar situation. That is totally different, because that is showing care and love and inspiring. And honestly, that takes a lot of guts to live out loud with that kind of courage about something that is already so traumatic for you. Okay. But that's totally different than going online and saying, listen, if you think this way, you're an idiot. If you don't agree with me, you're a moron. You see the difference there? Like one has the ability to, I mean, it is kind of controversial to talk about your own trauma on. So I would say that's controversial. And I would say that will attract a whole bunch of people dealing with the same thing that are looking for a solution, looking for an answer. But the problem with taking politics and being like, "Ooh, look, my engagement is up. Everyone is amening with me and loving with me." The problem with that is none of these people, just because they agree with you politically, are now inclined to order your product or join your business opportunity or do anything else that you have. Unless you're just, like selling some political t-shirts or something. So on one hand, I get the whole polarizing, controversial. That is an important thing for branding, but there is a really big difference between being controversial and being dramatic. There's a really big difference between being controversial and like pointing fingers at other people and trying to alienate 50% or 48% or whatever it is of our country. And again, I just want to say this. This is your brand. You can do anything, literally anything you want. That's totally up to you. But I'll just be super real, friends. Every time I open Facebook, like every time, I just see hundreds of posts from influencers that are stirring things up. Not standing up for something they believe in, not being positive, not saying, oh, I think this is a wonderful thing that we should all embrace. It's all very, very condescending towards other people type of stuff. And that just literally breaks my heart, because I wear this light bulb on my right arm. It's tattooed on me as a reminder that my job is to be the light in the dark. And the light isn't about exposing people for being wrong. The light is about shining a voice of hope. And sure, I do believe in the light, people start to see things that are wrong, but that's not my job to expose that. I'm not like trying to call people out for being. I'm just shining the light so that people can see, not trying to dictate what they can or can't see. That's up to them. Okay? My job is to inspire you to live your very best life, not to try to tell you what that should or shouldn't look like. That's not up to me. That's when we get into some manipulation shit. And I can't stand manipulation. I cannot stand it. So I want to invite you, regardless of what you see other people saying, regardless of what you see other people doing, I want to invite you to decide what it means for you and your brand and what you want to stand for. And the only reason I'm recording this podcast is not to try to tell you that you have to do it the way I do it, not to tell you that there is a right or a wrong or a good or bad, but just because I see so many people jumping on the political bandwagon to try to build a brand around it, that I feel like someone needs to stand up and say, it's okay not to do that. It's okay to let your business stay business and to also have a personal life where you can talk politics behind closed doors with the people in your personal life if you want to. I have very strong political beliefs, but I don't air them out. Can you imagine how weird it would be if all of the companies of the world just started making posts every single day talking about how stupid someone was or how dumb? It'd be so unprofessional. And I think sometimes we forget we are a personal brand, but we are also a business. And for me, like the two can be one, but I need to kind of remember the business ethics of having a business. This is a business, which is such a beautiful thing. But like, I don't, if I have a tire shop, I'm not like putting a sign on the front door that's like, hey, if you voted for this person, you're a dumbass. Like, that'd be awful. Can you imagine going to get your oil changed or going to get your coffee and someone is literally telling you at the register how stupid you are for the way you think or the way you vote? That'd be so unprofessional. And so for me, this just me. And again, it's your business. You can do whatever the hell you want. But for me personally, I'm choosing to keep my business a business that stands for what I created this business to do, which is to push others to reach their full potential. That's my passion, is to push people to reach their full potential. And I don't get to decide what that is or what that looks like. And again, that's why I'm here literally saying, I'm not telling you, you have to do what I'm doing. I'm not telling you what is right or wrong, but I just wanted to give you a different side of the story and a different angle that maybe, hopefully, will give you permission to be yourself. All right. I love you so much. I believe in you so freaking much. And regardless of who you vote for, what you think or believe politically, I'm smart enough to know that even if you disagree with me, even if you do things that I think are terrible or awful or stupid, deep down inside, I really do believe that every single person is doing what they believe is best for their family. And some of those people aren't thinking about my family. And I understand that because I'm not always thinking about their family. I just know that we're all doing what we know, or what we think, I should say, is best for us and the people we love. And so even if you disagree with me, there definitely are some political opinions. I'm like, that's crazy. That's crazy. However, that's Josh's personal opinion. Okay. On a human level, on a political level, Josh's business is not about that. Josh's business is about loving you, encouraging you, inspiring you, whoever you are, wherever you are, no matter how smart or dumb you are, no matter how political or non-political. I love humans. And I will constantly choose to be someone who stands in the gap for all humans. And if you don't like that about me, that's okay too. You don't have to follow along with me. You don't have to. You don't have to. But that's who I am. I love you so much. I believe in you so much. And I am cheering for you today. But please, please, please do me a favor. I'm about to do like a social media fast because there's so much political talk right now. I can feel it weighing on my own energy. And guess what? Guess what happens when we're all talking politics online? Guess what we're not doing? We're not helping people. We're not making sales. We're not building a team. We're not leading a team. We're being distracted. Again, I'm not saying you can't be involved in politics. I'm not saying you can't do those things. But please remember, if you want to grow your business right now, okay, but you're spending 3 hours a day watching videos online, even if you aren't commenting, or if you're getting yourself caught up in that trap, just remember that watching 3 hours of videos today didn't change what happened in the world. Go do something that will actually change something in the world today. I'm not saying to be ignorant. I'm not saying not to know what's going on at all. I'm just saying, remember to keep your focus on where you want to go and who you want to become and what you want to do. All right. I love you. Have an amazing day. I will see you, friends, very soon.